What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and we're here for Pink's episode 58. A little bit of a miscellaneous episode, but the come down from that epic Super Bowl victory over the Hawaii Warriors. Our Philadelphia Eagles have won the Super Bowl, and as per the precedent that we have set in this series, it's time to move on. But I have no idea what team we're gonna move on to. So, in the spirit of giving every team a fresh start, to see who sucks enough for us to move on to them. We're going to go through this offseason here and next year, just simming it as the Philadelphia Eagles. There's going to be no pink slips. We're just, to kind of help with us catching up a little bit. We're going to sim that whole 2014 season. And then at the end, at the conclusion of the 2014 season, we're going to decide what team we are going to be moving to. I actually might have to go into a spin the wheel situation to truly pick. Obviously, when we were finding our team that we're moving to after we won the Super Bowl with the Hawaii Warriors, as soon as Philadelphia kind of popped up there, I think everyone kind of saw the writing on the wall. It's been forever since we did an Eagles series on the channel. And we did it, man. And we did it, and it only took us a couple years. And then we made an absolute juggernaut of a team that is going to be terribly not fun to play against. Only solid thing is that there are some older players on this team. When you look at the ages, the Eagles might not be... It's not like, Hawaii and the Oilers and stuff like that. They've been dominant forever. At least when you look at the Eagles, everyone that's like a premier player for the most part, there's almost as many 30-plus-year-olds as there is guys in their prime. So, and I really do feel like once Philadelphia has the retirement of Donovan McNabb, maybe they'll regress down a little bit. Who knows? Maybe they'll be able to find someone in free agency that would be super elite. But either way, what we're going to do right now, first and foremost, like I said, we're just going to stay as the Eagles, but just kind of hands off. We'll get into the offseason. We'll get through the 2014 draft. We'll pick the 2014 draft as the Philadelphia Eagles. Why not? And then we'll get through that 2014 season. And then hopefully at the end, we'll figure out who our new team is for Season 4. Probably our final team for Flashback Pink Slips. Very, very quick look at some of the free agents that are available, at least in terms of guys that are in their prime. Because you're seeing some veterans, though. But it looks like, Jimmy Graham's going to be bouncing somewhere. Villanueva with a big dev trade. Sam Shields. Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. We look for a new team. Quincy Carter's pretty much been a quarterback for hire. Donovan McNabb didn't retire this offseason. See that. Jared Allen. I mean, there's no real premier, holy, that guy's going to change the landscape of the league type free agent this season, though. Which is kind of good, I guess. All right, so let's kind of see how the first top 10 picks go for here in the 2014 draft. And then we got a big old long wait for Philly because we're picking at 32. But with, so quick fresher on the draft board here. This was the Jadeveon Clowney draft, a draft that had pretty much Jadeveon Clowney. You have edge rushers and wide receivers. This is a very strong wide receiver class. Odell, you got Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Adams. I pretty much gave up on Skelly. Devontae Adams, Jarvis Landry, John Brown, Martavis Bryant. Like, there were some pretty goddamn good wide receivers in this year's draft class, and it's still kind of looked back upon as maybe one of the most talented of all time. So we'll probably have a chance at getting a wide receiver for the Eagles, even though I don't even know we would need one. We got Julio Jones and freaking Deshaun Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins and Keenan Allen and yada, yada, yada. So let's just see how the draft goes. For the first 10 picks, first up on the clock is the New York Giants, and they get Jadeveon Clowney. Pittsburgh at pick 2 gets Greg Robinson. At pick 3, the 49ers get Khalil Mack. And the Niners, if you were paying attention, the Niners were actually one of the shortlist teams based upon who sucked last season, because obviously they picked very high. Khalil Mack could be interesting in deciding what our team's going to be. Mike Evans to the Dolphins. I also like that. Mike Evans probably my favorite I don't even know, because I'm not a huge fan of the Eagles receivers outside of Deshaun Jackson, but Mike Evans might be my favorite wide receiver in the National Football League. Pick 5, Dallas gets Sammy Watkins. Pick 6, Jake Matthews to the Packers. Pick 7, Taylor Lewan to the Marshalls. Pick 8, Anthony Barr to the Cleveland Browns. Pick 9, the Rams select OBJ. And then at pick 10, just now, is when the Oilers, our very first Flashback Pink Slips team, is starting to suck. With that top 10 pick, the Oilers land Kyle Fuller out of Virginia Tech. All right, that's their top 10. Let's sim to the Eagles. Let's start picking for Philly. Thank God, Chip Kelly doing the most Chip Kelly thing humanly possible and drafting Marcus Smith again in the first round. So we're sitting here for the Philadelphia Eagles, looking at our draft board here. I didn't even freaking organize it. So in terms of first round talent, oh my God, it's a little thin. Trey Turner, Justin Britt, Joe Batonio are like our guys that we got to pick here, or Calvin Pryor. That's actually who I want Philly to pick in real life. Whatever. No, because we can get Calvin Pryor in the 3rd round if we want to. All right, we'll get Trey Turner's probably the best of the bunch. So we'll get Trey Turner out of LSU. 72 hidden dev. Number 15 in true talent, getting him. Oh, man, he's a face scan. He's looking clean. 2nd round, not much else we could do. Still got to pretty much chill it on the O-line. So we'll get Brandon Linder, who eventually moved into center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably the Jaguars' best lineman. And we got a 67. Still a good pick. Round, again, have to, looking at our draft board here, that's really all we can do. Unless there's someone here still in the 3rd round projection that we can. Josh Huff, I don't think I'm going to do that. Ooh, Dree Arch, remember him? The Canadian, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif from, where do you go, Laval or McGill? One of the two. Either way, we'll pick him, and it's still a good pick. Finally, we got some options here now in the 4th round. We have Quincy Enunwa, wide receiver. We already have 10 of those on the roster. Aaron Lynch at D-end. Bo Allen, getting him back to Philly, member of our Eagles Super Bowl winning team. We got Avery Williamson at middle linebacker, Pierre Desir at corner. At this point, we just need a DN to fill it out, so we'll get Aaron Lynch out of South Florida. He was always solid, 65 overall. Remember, he was drafted by the Niners, I think it was. Now he's on the Bears, I think. I don't know. He's bounced around. Chip Kelly, you bastard. That was going to be my pick. Oh, Tom Savage going to Hawaii. What are the odds? What are the odds that they would get Tom Savage? Our meme team gets Tom. Okay, 5th round. We have Charles Leno. We'll get Malcolm Butler here. Corner at a West Alabama. 64 with a hidden dev. 135 in true talent. 6th round, we'll just keep plugging away in the O-line, getting Andrew Norwell. We already got Brandon Linder on the Jags. We might as well get Norwell, who went to the Jags. Hasn't been nearly as good for Jacksonville as he was with Carolina, but he's a 62 hidden dev lineman. And then with our final pick, oh, this is a tough one because Shaq Barrett really started going off. But we're Philly special. We already have Nick Foles as our backup. Might as well bring in Trey Burton, who obviously, I was a huge fan. I remember that year. He was my top target for Philly to go after as a UDFA. Burton was a 60 in dev, tight end, scheme fit. Don't know really where he's going to fit in. Does he have a face scan? I don't know why it's not loading, but he might not. Either way, a solid draft class is a draft class that it's going to be very tough for anyone, given how good our team is, to start as a rookie, unless we had like a top 10 pick and could get an absolute game changer. But kind of looking at the rest of the draft here, outside of the top 10, which is what we saw, seeing Shazier to the Redskins, Aaron Donald going to the Panthers. Panthers are another team that are very much on the short list that I might want to move to. Zach Martin going to the Colts. We got Bradley Roby. Let's look at some of the higher rated players. Tank Lawrence going to the Chargers. We got Trey Turner going to the Eagles. Trey Turner actually ended up being a pretty solid pick for us in the 1st round. Outside of the 1st round, you might as well see what guys are the highest overalls. Devontae Adams going to the Oilers, 69. Jarvis Landry to the Jets in the 3rd round. Much there. 4th round. Much there. 5th round. Not much there. 6th round. Not much there. And then the 7th round. Whatever. Biggest player, number 1 player in true talent was Aaron Donald going to the Panthers. All right, it's solid draft. Solid draft. No shocking picks outside of probably Chip Kelly getting Marcus Smith, the bust yet again in the 1st round, and for Chip Kelly to also pull the trigger on Tom Savage. Are we going to go back to Hawaii? That is the real question. So as we started things up here for the Eagles, looking for back-to-back Super Bowls, here is our squad, 93 across the board. We got McNabb has started to regress. I think he's the only guy in the offense that has regressed any points. I don't even think, maybe Jason Peters went down 1, but I am using, shout out to Sabo. He has a mod here on PC for franchise mode AI, and it seems to help with all the harsh regret. It's such a good mod, man. Outstanding mod. I love using it. That's why McNabb has not regressed majorly, or any of our players have had those ridiculous type regressions, because I'm using a way better mod. But look, across the board, man, this offense is freakily good. But what we did notice last year was that McNabb in the sim wasn't hot fire. He had like, 20 in the regular season anyways. Obviously, we can hop in and play with him. He was outstanding, but really, he's only had that 1 breakout year with us. Other than that, he's been, an above average quarterback at best. Flipping to the defense, we probably have started to see no regression here either. I was thinking Merriman could, but he's still a 99. He was our prized possession after winning the Super Bowl. D'Amico Ryans is probably the oldest player in the defense, and he's not regressing any. So for top to bottom, this team is terrifying. And I firmly expect 12, 13 wins and another deep playoff run here for Philadelphia, as more so this year is for us to sit on the sidelines and find out who is going to be our Season 4 Flashback Pinks team. So for the Eagles here, we're just here at Week 15. We're already ready to close up shop. Made the playoffs. I think we've only lost once, if I do remember. Yeah, we're 12-1. I just want to show you guys the draft class, the 2015 draft class. A quick refresher for you. At least in the first round, this is the draft class with Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. Outside of that, there's some obviously always some really good players. Amari Cooper, Leonard Williams, Vic Beasley. We got God Turtley, Devontae Parker, Melvin Gordon, Eric Armstead, Marcus Peters. Ew. Don't want to talk about that guy. Byron Jones is there. He went on to get a huge old payday. We got Landon Collins. I mean, kind of looking at the rest of the positions here. I mean, we don't want to go super in-depth, but it's a good class for a running back. If you're looking for a running back, very nice. Get Jay Jai. He's like a depth player. Imagine trying to turn his career around. There's a career rebuild, survival, turning DGB into an actual monster. Tyler Lockett's there. Jamison Crowder. There's some Stephon Diggs in the 5th round. Tight ends, not a great draft if you need TEs. On the line, there's some solid linemen. No Shaq Mason's there. Ali Marpet at guard. Not a great year if you're looking for tackles, I suppose. On the defensive side, Daniil Hunter in the 3rd round. I mean, obviously he's going to present insane value. Eric Armstead finally had a breakout year last year with the 49ers. Darius Smith in the 4th round. I don't know. I'm trying to remember to this draft class who was like the best pick. Eric Kendricks was really good. You got Jordan Hicks, Quan Alexander. I would love either one of those guys on whatever team we end up moving to. Yeah, I mean, unless I'm just not thinking. I don't know who the craziest. Adrian Amos is there. So that's, yeah, it's a good draft class. Maybe not the greatest of draft classes, but there's definitely some talent here. The season with Philadelphia with a loss, but 14-2. We're the number 1 team. The number 1 seed. Baltimore is really good. Buffalo, Hawaii always. The Colts, Lions, Steelers, Chiefs, Packers, Rams, and Giants have all, obviously we're not going to take over our playoff team. They'll all play themselves at a contention for our Season 4 Flashback Pinks. Look at the stats here. See what's going on. At least for our Eagles. McNabb, great season. Good bounce back from a year ago. 32 touchdowns, 4 picks. We got Peyton Hillis, almost 1,500 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. McNabb had 5 rushing touchdowns. No dominant receiver. Gronk was almost 808. 7-5 for D-Jack. 7-5 for Julio. 6-6 for DeAndre Hopkins. 5 receiving touchdowns for Peyton Hillis. D'Amico Ryan's tackle machine. We got 17 sacks from lights out Sean Merriman. Love seeing that. 8.5 Watt. 8 for Ndamukong Suh. 7 for Bobby Wagner, as well as 3 interceptions leading the team. Quick look. We have the number 15 offense in the National Football League. Defensively, probably pretty good. Number 1 all damn day. MVP went to Adrian Peterson. Okay. McNabb's your Offensive Player of the Year. Clay Matthews, Defensive Player of the Year. Rookie of the Year went to Derek Carr. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Ryan Shazier. Chad Pennington. We got Peyton Hillis as Running Back of the Year. Steve Smith of the Carolina Panthers, Wide Receiver of the Year. He's getting up there in age. He's only a 78 overall now. Lineman went to Joe Thomas. Like, it's pretty much the Eagles' offensive line here. Unreal. Every starter, 1 through 5. Sean Merriman was the best D-end. Clay Matthews is a monster at linebacker. Devin McCourty at DB. Them goddamn Falcons, man. Falcons are really, really good. Let's figure out who we're going to be taking on in the playoffs run, because we got to go through these playoffs, and then we will pick out our new team. I feel like for this playoff run, we'll just do like a play the moments type deal for all these games. And first up, it's the 9-7 Green Bay Packers. Only a 15-point overall difference. They're an 80 overall. We're a 95. So this is probably not going to play well into our favor. But we have remember, just all I know is we have the number 1 defense. At no point in these playoffs, our offense could struggle, right? By all means. But at no point in these playoffs should we be giving up like anything in the 30s. And they're doing a great job. They've yet to give up a touchdown. They're keeping our offense in this game as our offense tries to figure it out here. But we're in the 4th quarter. We got that big lead. When you have the number 1 ranked defense, it's kind of what you like. You want to be able to rest on your laurels here. That if you can get to the 4th quarter without giving up a touchdown, no matter how the offense plays, you should be able to squeeze by with a victory. They got a garbage time touchdown, but it didn't mean anything. 20-10, Philly moves on. That man, Quincy Carter, can pretty much lead any team to this goddamn playoffs. But solid game. Peyton Hillis, almost 100 yards. Clinical for McNabb, an 81% completion percentage, as Philly is back in the NFC Championship game. In the goddamn NFC North, they're taking on the Detroit Lions. Got Jeremy Maclin, Troy Polamalu as their two big-time stars on offense and defense. Would be kind of weird to see Jerry Maclin have like a 300-yard game or something crazy like that to knock us off. We're going back and forth here. Defense, pretty much gave up in the first half what we gave up in the whole game against Green Bay. So kudos to Detroit. A little bit more challenging of an opponent, but push comes. I mean, you got to remember, we're a juggernaut. 95 overall. We should be spanking every team in this goddamn game. Up until probably Hawaii, maybe Atlanta. So there we go. Clinical again, 31-24. The Philadelphia Eagles have made back-to-back Super Bowls, over 100 yards for Peyton Hillis. Huge game. McNabb was 300 yards, 3 touchdowns as we wait to figure out who our victim is for our second Super Bowl win. I'm sure we're going to get it. Okay. 9-7 Chiefs have found their way to the Super Bowl. I know they have Aaron Rodgers. That's all I know. I mean, look at that. Just skunking them in terms of talent. But let's see. They got Aaron Rodgers, Ted Ginn, and Dwight Freeney as their superstar X Factors. Nick Mangold, Tracy Porter, AJ Green. I mean, Aaron Rodgers got to have an all-time performance, I think, to stand a chance. Look at the overalls. We should bully them. We should absolutely bully them and get back-to-back Super Bowls. Okay, Super Bowl is here. Philly, Kansas City. Donovan McNabb, Aaron Rodgers, two really, really good quarterbacks, two all-time quarterbacks going after it. Philly gets the opening score of the game, up 7-zip, but Kansas City able to tighten their bootstraps and equalize. Not going to dig themselves into a hole here. Got to try to match us point for point. Philly gets the field goal. Legatron kicks it. It looks like it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm not seeing explosive plays on either side of the ball, so full kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs offense, as the Chiefs somehow, someway, the third quarter had a 1-point lead. But that was very short-lived as Philadelphia gets a touchdown, 2-point conversion. But anytime we get a touchdown, it feels like they're getting one as well. There we go. 2:24. This is where Aaron Rodgers either becomes a legend or becomes a runner-up. What can he do against the #1 defense in the league? Ice in his veins, able to go all the way downfield. We're going to overtime. And overtime playoff games have not played well for Philadelphia. I remember 2 years ago, that NFC Championship game against Atlanta. One play, the first play from the line of scrimmage, 75-yard touchdown to Aaron Sproles. So we get the ball first in overtime. It's over. I don't know what just happened there. That looked like an instant touchdown. We'll have to look at the box score, but just like that, back-to-back Super Bowls for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not shocked. 95 overall. This team's goddamn terrifying. What we have done, what we've successfully done is made whatever team we go to next. This is the heel. We've made the Patriots. In a way, you look at Hawaii. Hawaii's starting to regress just a little bit. We've made the Patriots. They have that super old quarterback, Don McNabb, Tom Brady, that just will not retire and plays very good as he wins the Super Bowl MVP. Who won the MVP last year? Deshaun Jackson got the Super Bowl MVP last year. McNabb might just not ever retire. I could totally see, especially with the sim mod that I'm using here, McNabb played till he's 42, and Philadelphia will just never be terrible. Which, in a way, I won't care, because if they're the juggernaut, they just keep winning Super Bowls. Subliminally, I'm going to be happy behind the hood. I'm going to be happy with it. But I don't know. I mean, do we avoid? Do we go to the AFC for a new team so we don't have to play Philly? Or do we go right into the NFC, look them in the face, say, we're going to be better than you? It's going to take a while. It's going to take a couple years, but eventually we're going to knock the Philadelphia Eagles off their goddamn high horse here and become the new premier. And you look at this, man. Oh, my God. Just unstoppable. Peyton Hillis, almost 200 yards. Deshaun Jackson, 11 catches, 153. 3-3 for McNabb. I would argue McNabb. I mean, I think he just got the de facto. He's the quarterback MVP. That's one hell of a game. Would have been awesome to actually go in and play that one, but who knows, if we're playing it, probably would have smoked them even more. But Philadelphia is your Super Bowl champion, so the fallout from this, let's pick our team, man. Let's see what teams suck ass and find our Season 4 Pink Slip squad. The decision had been made. I had one requirement. I had a pool of the 5 lowest rated teams. I got 3 below an 80. 2 at an 80 overall. Looked at the rosters. I'll tell you the 2 teams that just missed the cut for where we're going. All the teams that we were considering were in the NFC. The first team that just missed the cut was the 49ers. Really wanted to go there, but You know, from a win-loss standpoint, they weren't particularly good. But when you look at the roster, I want it to be a little, challenge is the biggest word. Because Philadelphia, we had Donovan McNabb. Well, the roster was bad. If you have an elite quarterback, it's going to make your life a lot easier. So I was looking here, like my Terrell Pryor would be a pretty goddamn fun quarterback to use. But outside of that, man, they have a lot of like really, really good talent. They have the most talent, I think, available of the three teams. They have Demaryius Thomas, superstar, T.Y. Hilton, who's a superstar, Jordan Reed is a superstar. So your skill positions are pretty much set. You look on the O-line here, you got an okay O-line. Davin Joseph, 92 superstar. You got an 80 there, Batonio. So like their O-line's solid. You look at the defensive line, you got Khalil Mack, you got Fletcher Cox. So you're already set there. Linebacking core is pretty bad. Secondary, you got some, Brandon Flowers isn't bad. You got, he's old. You still got a superstar. So generally speaking, though, the upside, the best player to the upside, the Niners had the most. So that's why I decided not to go with them. The second runner-up was the Seattle Seahawks, staying within the division. Biggest reason why is they still got Phillip Rivers. Don't plan on moving on from him. With the Sabo mod here, quarterbacks play later. It replicates like the Drew Brees effect, the Tom Brady effect. We saw it with Donovan McNabb. Like Phillip Rivers probably would be our quarterback the entire time in Seattle. And I feel like we just went to a team that had an established quarterback. And I feel like that'd kind of be the same kind of deal here. They also had Doug Martin, superstar running back. The wide receivers are pretty garbage. Braylon Edwards, Allen Robinson would be the best there. O-line's, nothing special. D-line, work in progress. You got the X Factor, the veteran X Factor there in Justin Smith. But, definitely in terms of roster, really the only thing holding back Seattle here for me picking them was the quarterback. Because, there's not a whole lot of talent. There's plenty of room still to grow. Jimmy Smith's not bad. Eric Reed's not bad. They got Taylor Mays, another fun player to use. But they got the quarterback. So, without further ado, our Season 4 Flashback Pink Slips team, as we gear up for the 2015 season, is the Carolina Panthers. We are going to Carolina, 80 overall, bottom, I think they're probably the 6th lowest rated team. And looking at the roster, you're going to see why I made this decision. So, we'll work our way up, looking at what they got. So, we're starting with a top 10 pick, which was important. Definitely wanted a top 10 pick. Special teams, you got Hopkins and Brandon Fields. So, it's a solid special teams unit. Can definitely work with that. At strong safety, they have Andrew Sendejo as their starting strong safety, 71 star. So, definitely want to upgrade that position that we need to work on. At free safety, they actually do have Morgan Burnett, who's solid, 85 star dev. He's a zone. He's 26, has his best football. So that's good that we at least have one player here. Got the face scan. I don't know. For whatever it works, I feel like when a guy actually has a face scan, it kind of looks a little bit cooler anyways. So that was bonus points that, the safety tandem is not ready. You got to find, Sendejo's garbage. He's a big hitter, good special teamer. That's about it. So Morgan Burnett is one of our best players, top 5 player on this team. At corner, we have Anton Kayson, 84 superstar, but he's 29. So much like, he's solid, but he's on the downswing of his career. Not a guy that, 2-3 years in, we're going to be able to count on. Try to upgrade him sooner or later. But they do have Casey Hayward, who is 25, 84 superstar, almost a scheme fit. Really, really talented corner. Was good in the league in real life with Green Bay. Then he went to L.A. and has been outstanding for the Chargers for the most part. We got Nickel Roby-Coleman, who can be our starting slot. He's a 75 with a star. So at least starting out, most of the secondary. The secondary is one of the pretty much... Thinking about the team right now, secondary is probably the best position on our team in terms of talent because Kayson Hayward, Roby-Coleman, and Morgan Burnett, that's good enough to not be a liability and probably be the strongest unit on this team. Looking at the linebacker core, we have old man DeMarcus Ware, who we're gonna be switching to a 4-3. I think that's what they're running anyways. I don't really think I want DeMarcus Ware as an outside linebacker in my 4-3, so he might move him to DN. Well, we have old man DeMarcus Ware, so like Kayson, he's a little bit older. He's on the downswing of his career, but he's still an X-Factor player, which is good. But I don't even know, because I don't have an opportunity to re-sign any of these guys. He could be bouncing to free agency, and that's going to be an awkward position. They got Daryl Washington as a middle linebacker. He was actually a guy that flashed a little bit for the Cardinals in real life. He was a tackle machine for a little bit, but he had some off-the-field issues. It's not bad, 77 at 28. And then we got Gito Hayes, 75 at 20 with a star dev. I don't know if Washington has a dev trade. He doesn't. So the linebacking core is led by a guy who's pretty much close to retirement. Position. We gotta get better there. The D-line is really good. We got Aaron Donald, which is huge. Absolutely huge. Wanted to start with that. We have Julius Peppers here, who I'm going to move right to defensive end. We might just have two of the starting. I might just have... we got Cliff Averill here, who's an 83 star. We got Julius Peppers, who's an 87. I think, honestly speaking, I'm going to probably move DeMarcus Ware here to defensive end. In a 4-3, he's very much a defensive end. So it makes our linebacking core very weak. But it makes our D-line now with Aaron Donald. We got to find another defensive tackle to pair with him. But we got old man Julius Peppers, old man DeMarcus Ware, Cliff Averill here. Maybe, I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll have to shuffle some of these guys around. Because you definitely, with Cliff Averill, you don't want to not utilize an 83 overall player, especially when the defense needs some help. So, maybe we could put Julius Peppers back at D-tackle. Maybe we can move DeMarcus Ware back to linebacker. We have options. The offense is where this team really is not great. We have DJ Fluker, 79 star dev tackle. That's fine. It goes downhill from there. Right guard, we have Upati, 83 star. Actually, no. Now it goes downhill. The left-hand side from the center is not great. We got a 71 center, 71 guard, and Roger Saffold, and a 71 tackle. So the left-hand side of the offensive line, very, very weak. And overall, definitely brings down this offensive line to like a bottom 10 O-line in the game. At tight end, we got Jimmy Graham, who's an 86 superstar, 28 years old. Best skill position player that we're working with here. At wide receiver, we got old man Steve Smith, 78 X Factor. I'm a huge fan of Steve Smith, but I don't know how many years we're going to get out of him. We have Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks, so we just got like the Giants, I suppose. Meacham, Justin Blackman on the roster too. So wide receivers, pretty much at their peak. Steve Smith's only going to regress. Cruz, might be lucky to get him to an 80. Same with Hakeem Nicks. So definitely want to look at upgrading wide receivers. But if you've noticed a trend through all of our flashback franchises, wide receiver is easily the easiest position to upgrade. We got Mike Carney at fullback, who's an 80. Our starting running back is going to be Mark Ingram. Big trust. Woo, woo. 82 overall. Star dev. Pair that, we got Carlos Hyde. Nice 1-2 punch of power backs there. Gonna be right in your face, smash mouth style football. And now you'll see why we picked this team. At the quarterback spot, Tim Tebow is the assumed starter. You got Josh Freeman there, EJ, just a bunch of busts. But the fact that I might have a chance to play Tim Tebow. This, if you've noticed, flashback pink slips, I've slowly just been getting players that I'm a huge fan of throughout it. Every single team we've done, I've been able to play with some of my favorite players. With the Oilers, we got Andre Johnson. With the Hawaii Warriors, we drafted Deshaun Jackson. We had Peyton Hillis for a little bit. Obviously, Colt Brennan was a layer. And then with the Eagles, we were able to just slowly start to get a lot of my favorite players there. Getting Kelsey, making Peyton Hillis our starting running back, getting to play with Donovan McNabb. So now that we're here in Carolina, obviously, there's no expectations really for Tim Tebow to emerge as like an all-pro type player. But just being able to play with him until we could most likely draft our actual starting quarterback, that was a big factor. So the most important position for the Panthers was the weakest out of the two other teams here between the Niners and the Seattle Seahawks. So there you go, man. That is the reasoning. When you look at Carolina, if you take away all the players who are like 33 plus, guys that are not going to be here past the first year, there's no way we're winning the Super Bowl next year. So we can't count on Julius Peppers long-term. You can't count on DeMarcus Ware long-term. Can't count on Kason long-term. Can't count on Cliff Averill long-term. Can't count on Steve Smith long-term. You could definitely see that this is going to be, we got our work cut out for us. But luckily, we got Aaron Donald. That's a huge get. He's going to be a franchise player. Casey Hayward should be a franchise player. That's probably it as it stands right now. So I'm excited to get into it. We are here with Carolina. They will be our Season 4 Flashback Pink Slips team. So that will do it here for episode 58. We might be back 3 straight days of Pink Slips so that we can get into the offseason here with the Carolina Panthers, get our first draft in the books, and gear up everything for the 2015 season. So that does it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you're pumped for Carolina. See some Tim Tebow action at the quarterback spot, and we'll be back tomorrow. So as always, hit the like button. Helps out in the old YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button. On our way to 150,000. Would like to hit that sooner than later as we get ready for the Madden 21 season. And I'll see you guys on the next one back here tomorrow with our first draft, the 2015 draft with the Carolina Panthers. Till then, peace out.